There she is. Hey, cutie pie.
You require my aid.
What are you doing Tuesdays? You going for a climb?
How
Okay, you get up there. Yeah, you do you. You live your dreams Tuesdays. Yeah, I dream on sitting on your head. I'm gonna sit on your head, Human. Get that tail down, boy. Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having a magical day. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. Today, we have an Orzhov Vampires deck. Could you tell Simba was doing the intro? So we have Orzhov Vampires. This is white and black, an aggro style archetype, looking to deal a ton of damage right away, draining our opponent from 20 to 0 as quickly as possible. In today's video, we'll break down the deck list. Simba will show us the strategies and synergies held within it, and then we'll demonstrate everything within the gameplay footage for you guys today. We are in Mythic, which is a lot of fun. This is, of course, a standard deck. I know you all have been fiending, wanting more brand new standard content, and we've got that covered for you today as well. But don't worry, if you're into Alchemy, at the end of the video, we show you how to tune the deck for the new format, and really, it does set it on fire. But that's not to diminish the standard version either. It's just kind of a different format. So buckle up, get ready, make sure to like the video to show your support, subscribe to the channel for more great content like this, and maybe even check out that link tree if you're looking for, even more stuff, I guess. Alrighty then. Orzhov Vampires is a standard 60 card best of one build with a 2.7 average mana value, a direct 50-50 split of 18 creatures and non-creatures, 24 lands for consistency's sake. We do have the Sanctums, or the dual land, that has to come in if we have 2 or fewer lands tapped, if not untapped, which is nice. And then a single Cave and Hive for the creature lands alongside the Pathway for consistency's sake. Focusing around vampires using a tribal-based wipe. Crippling Fear. Choose a creature type. Creatures that aren't the chosen type get -3/-3 until the end of turn, right? So we'll wipe the field, keeping all of our vampires in play. That's going to be fantastic. And then Edgar Charmed Groom as a 4/4 for 4 as well. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. So those are our 2 tribal effects within the build. Of course, when Edgar dies, you transform it into the coffin. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white and black vampire creature token with lifelink, put a bloodline counter on the coffin, and then if there are 3 bloodline counters on it, transform it, remove the counters. So this is really cool because they're legendary, so you can play the Groom, and if you need, play another Groom on top after the attack, preferably, and then because of the legendary rule, the one Groom will become the coffin, and then you can just kind of rotate them, having both of them in play at the same time, which is a lot of fun. Breaking away from that, we have the Bloodcaster. Now, this is a 2/1 with flying. Whenever it or another non-token creature we control dies, create a blood token. Whenever you create a blood token, if you control 5 or more blood tokens, transform the caster into the summoner. It's going to be a 3/3, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, a target blood token we control can become a 2/2 black flyer, which is great. So, it's a pretty good attacker in the air. It's going to generate blood tokens, which we'll talk about in a second. And it can, beef up, it becomes stronger, and it can make our other blood tokens be attackers as well. So this card is very, very good. And then, synergizing well with the Falconwrath Forebear for 3, a 3/1 with flying as well. Cannot block. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token as well. We can pay 1, sacrifice 2 blood tokens to return it from the graveyard to the battlefield. Now, this is really, really good. We can consistently be replaying this card from the grave by sacking the blood tokens that it makes, right? So when it dies, the Bloodcaster makes a token. When it attacks, it's going to make itself a token, which means it can be replayed, and that whole process will repeat over and over again, which is really just a lot of fun. We can also use the blood tokens if the Forebear is in our hand initially, and we have 3 of them. We'll sacrifice 1, discard the Forebearer, draw a card, and then cast the Forebearer from the graveyard for only 1 mana instead of 3, right? So that's going to be a nice trick for you as well. And then, we're filling around the cracks with more vampires. We have the Unholy Officiant as a nice 1-drop, a 1/2 with Vigilance, pay 5, put a +1/+1 counter on it. The Valentine Dina Vane for 1/1 as well with Menace and Lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. Okay, so we have to be running some form of exile because the cleric class, not the cleric class, the cleric deck in particular is running absolutely rampant. And this is a good way to make sure you're dealing with those creatures once and for all. Of course, if you pay 2, you can create a 1/1 Black Pest, and when it dies, you'll gain 1 life, which is pretty cool as the chump blocker as well. Plus, we have a way to push up all of our creatures, not just the vampires, within the wedding announcement. An enchantment for 3 at the beginning of your end step. Put an invitation counter on the announcement. If you've attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card. Otherwise, create a 1/1 human token. And then if you have those 3 counters on it, transform it into the festivities. Creatures you control get +1/+1, right? So this helps the vampires and the non-vampires as well. Vanishing Verse for removal on target monocolored permanent. The Meat Hook for whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, right? The Exile through the Dean is a nombo through the Massacre. That's why we only have 1 copy. However, that additional chip damage when your creatures die is amazing because we're creating a lot of creatures over and over and over again. We have the Paladin class as a 1-drop. Spells our opponent casts during our turn will cost 1 extra mana. We can pay 3 to level 2. Creatures we control get +1/+1, right? So we have the class, we have the invitation, and we have Edgar for 3 tribal buffs, which is nice. Think of them that way. And then level 3, whenever you attack until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature. Well, yeah, and then double strike. So, you know, that's phenomenal. You put that on a flyer, there's lethal, right? We have the Dominathia for 4 as a 1/3 with flying, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Each player sacrifices a creature. Probably not what we're into here unless they have something that we can't remove, and we need to. You draw a card and lose 1 life. That's what we're going to right away as it's played, and then we can transform it on the turn after into a 3/4 with flying and Death Touch. You can pay 3 creatures you control with flying, Death Touch, and or lifelink, get +1/+0 until the end of turn, so that's a nice way to buff the field as well. Sorin, 4 loyalty, 4 mana, +1. Look at the top card of your library. You may reveal it. If you do, put it into your hand and lose life equal to the mana. -2, creating a 2/3 flying vampire with lifelink. And -7, dealing 13 damage to any target. You gain 13 life, which is really, really nice. And then we talked about Crippling Fear. -3 to all non-vampires. Of course, you can do it early with the humans if you want, if you've not played vampires yet. But, you know, we don't really care so much about the humans. It's just the vampires. And destroying our opponent's creatures is going to be the main objective here. Obviously, if you have a bunch of creatures in play you don't want to destroy, well, you probably have field control anyways. Otherwise, you'd still just be looking to gain control over the field. That's that, you guys. The replayability and mid-range grindability within this deck is very good. You know, that Forebear being replayed from the grave, fantastic. And then Edgar, you know, just basically doesn't go away. It's always going to be around, creating tokens. And then those tokens are beefy, right? Announcement stacks, Paladin class stacks, and, you know, if they're vampire tokens, Edgar is going to be there as well, which is really, really groovy. If you're interested in the Alchemy version of the deck, stay tuned throughout the video. We have some standard gameplay matches in Mythic for you, but we'll talk about how to adjust this deck for Alchemy after that. Make sure to like the video to show your support, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more great content, and maybe even check out that link tree, potentially join the community Discord, come say hello. We're always active. Enjoy, have a magical day. Let's get after it. Going first, missing a 2 and 3 drop, but can't complain. 3 land is good. Hopefully not a repeat of a flood. Looking to be that way, actually. Yikes. No, we needed that 4th land. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Edgar out first. Dezekai. First is probably a dead card unless they play dragons. Expressive for their 3rd land, plus they draw. In tapped. Get a black source in, Edgar out, hit for 2. Cat attack. What's up? You're not allowed up here, cat. Doomscar. That's okay, because then we get this, I believe it's an artifact or an enchantment. I think it's an artifact, yeah. We're creating vampire tokens with life gain. Life blink. And it's another Edgar in play. Which is nice. Now we can just kind of rotate the two, unless one gets exiled. Sunset's Revelry is great. Good control card. Land out. Henrika in play. We draw a card. Cat needs to leave. Paladin's class is not bad. Let's swing for 6. Single block only. And then class in play. Hold up the verse, but I doubt we need it. Pretty sure it's just a field wipe. Another Foretell. All runs Epiphany, Doomscar. So we rotate here. Let's push up all our creatures. I think that's a good way to spend our mana. Transform. Big hit. Flying Death Touch and or Lifelink that we can buff up. And I honestly think we go for it. We can still cast the Officiant. We're hitting for an additional 3 damage there. Down to 4. There has to be a Doomscar, right? Who cares? Let's go. Let's go. All in, baby. I always get burned for doing that. We have to make it more satisfying for them, though. Right? They really want to get the most out of this. We do lose it, as they were both coffins. But this gets the buff from the class. Hits for 4. I think that's lethal. Good game. And we end up at 35 life as well. That is healthy. Going first, and, you know, this hand looks great. I wouldn't mind a 2-drop, but... it's alright. No 2-drop isn't pleasant, but we get that 4th land. What are they playing, right? That's my question. Let's start out with the announcement first, in case they have removal. Stormseeker in the house. I'll block. This is an easy block for me. Alright, let's just prolong everything as much as we can. Get a vampire out. We have another chump blocker. And just make sure that we keep it, to daytime, right? Fourth land with a Hellkite. Uh-oh. This is not good. Can't kill that Hellkite. Well, you say that. Before they can cast anything, let's just take it. We'll play another Forebearer. Let's take our hit because we can't block. We do get this final token, though. And then we flip, so 2/4/2 bearers That's pretty good. Phoenix. They learn 1 mana. Are they discarding here for a draw from the hand, or do they learn from the sideboard? Guiding Voice to bring another Phoenix into play. All right, we've got ourselves a match. Go get him, HGG. Yikes. Now that is tasty. We hit for 8. We create 2 blood tokens. Down to 9, though. That's kind of risky biscuits here. Sitting on lethal next turn. Go right for the choppers, man. Decent. Hit for 2, down to 4. Do they have removal? Oh man, they could win the game here. Right? If they have any interaction, we're about to lose. This is a hard decision. It only leaves us with 2. Go for it. 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 Go for it, go for it. Go for it, go for it. Wow, I honestly thought that they had something there. YOLO! Going first. Don't mind it. Plains, Tyrant. Let's do official. Bloodcaster. Or... we get that in there immediately. Nah. We'll turn 3 it. Bloodcaster in play. Hit for 1. Paladin's class up next. Unless we get a 3-drop. I'm worried about a meat hook. Blood on the Snow. Right, they've got tools. Deal with it. So it might not be that then. The zombie can't block, so we still get to swing in for the extra point of damage. Down to 16, we're at 20. Sorin in play on 4 is nice. No blocks here. Do they full control dispute it? Okay. The plot thickens. Alright, Sorin in play. Get that minus out.
Vengeance. Bloody, and you can deal with my servant.
We just hit for 2 here. There's no way they give us Jadar. Let's just hit for 2. Down to 14. Elfstinger sacks the Geist, I assume, for the treasure. They're down to 12. 5 cards in hand. Does go to exile, though, which is good news, right? That doesn't seem right. I'll allow it. Push in. Attack with the flyers. Take the draw first, see what we get.
Dire times call for dire tactics.
This will give us a draw, which is like our main goal. 2 life as well. And our turn, take the draw. No land. There she is. Hey, cutie pie.
You require my aid.
What are you doing Tuesdays? You going for a climb?
How
Okay, you get up there. Yeah, you do you. You live your dreams Tuesdays. Like, yeah, I dream on sitting on your head. I'm gonna sit on your head, Human. Get that tail down, boy. We block that. I think we do. We get the blood tokens. They decay, Loth goes up. She can still make spiders.
Get what I want. Do what I demand. I will not cry like
We just have to
a
take
little
it.
thing.
Right, order of operation declares that it is a must. Another announcement. Make the flyer.
I bring my own army.
No attacks. Make the tokens. We need the announcement to flip. This is bad. Right? I don't want to be in this situation. Not one bit. They have 4 cards in hand. 7 available mana. 5 creatures in play, which we do match. They have Menace on 2 though, so it's confirmed kill on Sorin through Menace. If they attack with all. Ghast in play. Bellstinger in play, sacks the Ghast. No, kills the zombie. They're gonna lose 2 life here. Wow, that is brave. They're looking for a meat hook to gain some of that life back. They have to be. The spiders can't attack. The spiders need to defend, so Sorin might live. Kill a spider. Push our creatures up. That's confirmed lethal. I think. They're tapped. They have 1 mana. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. That is so clutch. Woo! Holy Toledos. Alright, going first here. The land is good, and we have an announcement, which I actually like, so even playing slow, I think we would be fine. But, yeah. No worries. Just seeing what they're up to. We're on the play, so the fact that we get to go first really gives us a lot of leeway. Announcement in play. Lots of land here. This is more land than I'd like. We may keep some to discard. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That is a good 4-drop. That is not bad.
Out of my way. I have a way.
Hit for 1.
You can deal with my
Additional
servant.
tokens. We're sitting at 3 tokens here. Obviously, they're going to have a Doom Scar. Our turn, they draw, discard, gain 1 life as we switch to Night. I'm quite surprised we didn't see more Nightbound mechanics on the werewolves. Sorry, the vampires. We've seen a ton on the werewolves, but it's like, I don't recall a ton of vampires utilizing the day-bound, Nightbound mechanic. Let's grab a plus here. Into our hand.
Dire times call for dire tactics.
Let's attack with 3. We'll take a draw as well. And our turn. I don't want to fold out into a Doomscar because we know they have it, right? Let's take that black source. Replace it with a swamp. The majority of our deck is swamp-based. This is colorless, not monocolored, which is pretty sad, but Fairy's a dual color, but the Hullbreaker, Horror, and Leer are both monocolored, so, you know, that's going to give us somewhere to go with it. And here's that Doomscar we're a little bit worried about. More land. Yikes.
I bring my own.
Let's fold out. Ending our turn here. They draw, gain 1 life, now discard. I guess the question is there a second Doomscar? Crippling Fear's most definitely a dead card for us here. Wow, back to back. That deserves a nice. Tossing Crippling Fear. Dead card. Tossing land. Dead card. More lands. More lands. Wow. Let's take a draw with Sorin. Even more lands.
Blood
That's
for
incredible.
knowledge. A fair trade.
In a bad way, if I'm being unclear. Let's end our turn. We get the token. It's a 2/2, so that's fine, I guess. We hold up mana, potentially to interact with the Hullbreaker. 3, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's only a 7-drop, so they could have the ability to cast something like, you know, Fading Hope from their hand. Leer for 5. 0 for 3, total of 8. That works for them as well, but then we could get them on the following turn. So they'd be better off to bounce their own Leer. That was the case, and we do go to Night here. They gain 1 life, draw a card, discard again. It's been receiving a ton of value from the Celestus. Okay, they toss a 0, which is... Did we just draw another land? Orzhov landfall, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a draw. That's into our hand. It's into play.
Times call for dire tactics.
Can be replayed from the grave with treasures. We already spent all of our treasures, which typically we don't want to do, but we're having a land issue this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have half of the lands in hand. Like, I didn't even need to play these. I just feel bad about it. Let's hit for 2. Hullbreaker enters. We immediately hope we get the exile. Yes! Now that is a relief. We still have a long way to go, without a doubt. And if only these were cards that had value at this point. Just more lands, I'm sure, off the top. They're down to 3 in hand. Looking at their graveyard, which scares me. Must be the Disciple. No. Draw, gain life, discard. Bloodcaster. I'm just going to keep gaining life. We already have plenty of creatures, so the Doomscar were done anyways. Oh, another land. I had no idea.
My ways are not for the weak.
This will cause a draw through the wedding announcements. Oh, again? Back-to-back horrors? Holy Toledos. Yikes. We get a blood token. Which we should use here, should we not? Because they're just going to be bouncing these. I need to cast just more. Cast more! More power! Big money, big money, big money on the exile. Negative. It'll be a double draw, which doubles the percentage of us actually getting another verse off the top. They have 2 mana to interact. Yikes. So they're not going to doom with a horror in play. Just the absence. And then they bounce our draw engine. We do get a blood token, though. And a clue. Do we single draw through? Or is this enough? They're out of cards. Right? And we don't get it. Okay. I was going to be pretty upset if we did get it. But of course, it's another land. We get a forebear, which is decent. We do have to draw through the clue. Thorn remains in play. We can block unless they bounce. I think it's better, because they're going to kill it anyways. Whereas the Doomscar has to just bounce Sorin, and then we can replay it, and there's always good value out of that, a 2-for-1. Well, kind of. Oh my god. So that's probably a good game. Right, I don't actually understand how to come back from this. Take the vampire token. Edgar.
Deal with this annoyance.
And now we just need to burn through the disputes, I guess. Well, they're gonna learn, and that learn now brings a mascot that gets replayed. This is unpleasant. We can play the other at any time. Take the draw. We're chilling. I mean, it's not great. This is really bad, but we're doing our best. Another token. I mean, I honestly... Yeah. So they should be destroying something else and then bouncing the forebearer back, but I guess bouncing the token is just as good. Nice. I think we're almost ready for a couple all-runs Epiphany, right? Just about at that point in the match. And this seems like a weird... Oh, okay, no, that's the bounce. Perfect.
Let this be over.
And they kill the Planeswalker, which is good. 17 life. They have everything they need. I would take another Vanishing Burst, preferably. But it's to the point where, like, I don't even know how to get that through. We may as well stop the damage because it's going to get bounced. Ugh! I can't even. I can't even, man. There's no way to win this match. This is over. For sure. Yikes. I think we came close. A good match, nonetheless. Oh, that's going to seal the deal. That's absolutely going to seal the deal. Bouncing the clue token feels weird. Makes sense, though, because we can instant speed sack the Bloods, and the wedding announcement would make more tokens, which they don't want. Hey, maybe we can pull some more lands, right? That'll help us out. Sack the Bloods. Forebearer in play, but probably just to our hand. Right, they have access to everything. Let's attack first. We know it's getting bounced, so Edgar doesn't even need to enter. Or else they would deal with both of them. If it deals damage, we make the blood token, which they don't want. Which is nice. Edgar in play. Take the draw. See what we get. More lands. Nice. We're out of everything. I guess let's just dead play in. Give them the match. If I were them, I would probably bounce my Lyre. I mean, they could bounce both creatures, right? A double divide. then a Doomscar. Oh, but they would lose access to the Doomscar if they bounce clear. That might be less than ideal. We do get another token here. And I feel like at the very worst, we're performing against them, right? It's not like they just mop the floor with us. Yeah, it's a hard match. I get it. This is not good, but we'll do our best. Not bouncing the token with the Hullbreaker. Grabbing themselves Exile. Again, now the Absence with the Hullbreaker bouncing the token, so that's fine. We lose the Forebearer. We get a clue, though, so we can draw. Their turn, 14 life. We probably just die the turn after this, unless they have a all run, in which case we'll die. Basically the same turn, if you want to think of it that way, but it's unpleasant. Regardless, it's how you perform in the mismatch that really matters, and I think we did well. It's easy to win a game when you're ahead. It's harder to fight back from behind consistently, right? For every inch. Doing a decent job of that today, I feel. I mean, getting bodied, of course, but, you know, we know that. Another bounce, another draw. Not good, man. Take the draw. I mean, there's nothing for one, but maybe we'll get that land out of the way. Actually, not a land. 1, 2, 6, 8, 11, 12, 13 land so far. Let's actually toss a land, I guess. Do a little cycling. We have enough of it, trust me. Right. Weird, but okay. So this is where things get weird. They have one more divide by 0 we need to burn. Paladin's class. They don't want to see this, right? This is a good card against them. Spells they cast are going to be taxed now on our turn. Edgar in play. I guess we should have maybe done this after, because it gives them more things to bounce when they cast the divide. I just want to pull it first. I have available mana. What do we do here? I think we go for it, don't we? Just because they're taxed? Now the question becomes, do they have something in their hand? They have 3 cards that we don't see. Oops. Oh, just to bounce it. That's okay. That is dirty. That is so dirty. you can cast a counter. I can't. It came out. I'm sorry. That was dirty. They counterspell with the Hullbreaker and Leer in play. Bounce the Leer on the stack. Counter still goes through. What? Oh my lord. I've actually never seen that done before. I've actually never seen that done before. So what I was expecting was, you know, they're going to divide and then we'd get it back to our hand, or they'd have to bounce their creature. Why wouldn't they have just bounced it? Whatever. Maybe we get the win. I don't know. They should have just bounced it. Wow. It's not good, man. We'll try to finish the match out. I mean, we've come this far. Right? We've done our best here. They should bounce the Paladin's class, I guess. Or the Clue. Gives us a draw. Oh, another land. Wow. You know, I didn't really expect to draw any lands this match. And here we are. Well, let's play it on top. I mean... yeah, we're down to 26 cards. They're at 36. I guess casting from your grave over and over really does help. We should have just let them have lethal when they had it already, because they're being slow here. We'll send out the good game. That really is it. You know, I'm not sure how to stop all of this. Let's show ourselves out. I think we went to the point where it's enough. We know they just had lethal and they have it again, right? They could divide, grab a learn spell, and that double bounces our creatures. Hit for, you know, a gazillion, it feels like. Alrighty, so, you know, here's the big question right away. How do I edit this deck for Alchemy? Well, it's actually really, really easy. You've got a nice land, the Dracula land here, Castle Dracula, right? Not bad, pretty cool. It's going to get the job done if you want. Of course, you could be running it in this version as well. I honestly thought this was an Alchemy card. But, you know, these thoughts come at the last second. But what is premeditated is not only the Welcoming Vampire as another good option, but the Brushstroke. And I don't have it in the sideboard because it will tell me the deck isn't standard anymore. But if we change it from standard to Alchemy, Brushstroke is now searchable. And this is a very good card. Not only is the Blood Artist a vampire, right? And it's going to get all of those plus effects, which we have, which makes it a viable attacker now. But also, you know, when our creatures are dying, we're going to be gaining life. They're going to be losing life. And then we have another way to gain more chip damage through the sacrificing of the blood tokens, which we can do for the forebear. So the deck is pretty cool in standard. Really like it. Really having a fun time with it. And it performs, right? We're winning matches in Mythic. And then if you're interested in taking it into Alchemy, it's 4 rares. And the Brushstroke is being played in very high percentage of decks that include black. I would say literally every deck in Alchemy that has black is running the Brushstroke because it's just that good, right? So that's the deck. Let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you all have a magical day. And yeah, we'll see you soon in the next.